Excellent. Okay, well, welcome everybody to the Brick and Mortar meeting, and tonight's topic is on applying AI to brick and mortar businesses. I'm Martin Brossman, and my co-host here is Dr. Justin Rose. This is part of the Brick and Mortar community, and if you notice in the community in the upper right-hand corner, there's a paid roundtable, and that is a group for only businesses that have a storefront, and that's a fair monthly rate where we have a group of brick and mortar businesses discussing their problems and getting challenges and getting advice. But the main group is open for everyone. So we're going to begin by having Justin, I'll let you do a brief introduction, and then we will start with our event tonight.
Thank you, Martin. So my name is Dr. Justin Rose. I am currently Director of Industry Training at Beaufort County Community College in Washington, North Carolina. I also provide consulting services to small businesses with business processes and other technological needs. I've been working with Mr. Brossman for a while, co-host, co-panel. Had a real joy working with him on how to provide tools, specifically free tools, AI-based tools to small businesses, so that way they could level the playing field with larger competitors and they can expand what they're able to do without a big cost, but then also to take some of that load off of them in the minute details, so that way they can expand and scale. So tonight, that's going to be what I'm going to be providing some feedback, some questions, some information on how free AI tools can help you scale your business, help you expand what you're able to do, and even provide some examples of how to do so and tools that are out there that are also free. So AI is a hot topic right now, artificial intelligence. We hear a lot about it in the news, on Twitter, everything. Of course, anybody who's heard of AI has heard of ChatGPT, Google Bard, Elon Musk's work on it. And so I think sometimes when we look at the corporation or the corporate level of AI, it's overwhelming. We think it's this magical Pandora's box where if we open it, everything will end. You kind of go into the sci-fi route, but it's very far from that. For small businesses and individuals, there's a lot of AI tools. AI is growing exponentially right now, but what that does is it provides access to free tools that may one day be paid, but now they're free tools for the, common man or the general user to be able to access and use. Some of the most famous ones right now are ChatGPT. You can't go on social media without seeing an advertise or something about OpenAI, which is the company for ChatGPT, or Google Bard, or any number of those. I know if we have users that are on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, specifically Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, you're going to be hit with either AI advertisements or some discussions surrounding AI right now. One that I'm really going to focus on tonight is ChatGPT. One, because it is the most well-known outside of Google Bard, and then two, because in my personal experience, I feel like it has kind of a more user-friendly interface to it. And how can AI help you as a brick and mortar small business? After that, we'll get into some of the nuts and bolts, maybe even discuss one of the things I really want to discuss, which is the driving force, or it's called prompt engineering. And it sounds like a fancy term, but it is essentially communicating with your AI, communicating with the tools, how to give it the information it needs to do blank for you. So one of the biggest impacts that AI has on a small business is there's two main primary ones. One is the ability to scale a business. Specifically scale a business potentially without having to bring in more of a workforce. Specifically, this is beneficial for single member companies. If you're the boss, the creator, the worker, everything all in one, you have enough hats that you're wearing, that sometimes the minute details, the business processes can be overwhelming. That's where something like AI, not just in using prompts and getting information, but content creation, designing. There's a lot of things right now to where you do not have to be an expert in Photoshop, in research, in anything like that. AI can help you with that. You just have to know how to communicate with it. Now, it's still a program. It is still on the internet. So I always ask everyone to exercise caution. Really, when you move forward with anything that deals with software or your information, always make sure you safeguard it. Always make sure you have an infrastructure, whether physical or cloud-based, to both support and keep your information safe. AI provides a way to increase data volumes, to break down data to ways that's easier for you to understand it, to take certain situations or marketing or user interactions and almost in a way have a discussion with the AI and ask it to provide you feedback. For anyone who is a small business owner, having feedback or having the ability to have a virtual assistant essentially that will provide ideas back to you is invaluable. And that's one of the biggest things when you look at scaling, using AI to scale. A fancy term for that nowadays that's emerging, you're going to hear, is called AI operations. Anytime you hear AI operations, it's essentially how are you using AI in the operation of your business, whether it be through data analysis, scaling services you have, maybe using prompts to ask for input and ideas on marketing, breaking data down, even inventory, which we're going to touch on. Another invaluable way that AI using prompts is beneficial for the business owner is because you can actually use prompt engineering to ask AI to provide specific examples for things. You're stuck in the middle of a marketing campaign and you've run out of ideas. You can actually use prompts through something like ChatGPT to provide me ideas for a marketing campaign for 4th of July. It will provide you ideas, but then you may feel overwhelmed and saying, well, I don't know graphic design. I'm not sure how to create a flyer. Aside from Canva, which is something else, another program that's very easy that uses AI, you can actually ask your AI virtual assistant to say, provide me free resources for someone who may not be strong in graphic design that use AI and is free. And it will provide you a list of free resources, AI-based, where you can go to that tool. You can type in a giraffe rollerblading, something silly, or Uncle Sam rollerblading. All you have to do is provide a prompt. It'll generate photos. Now, sometimes you may have to try 1 or 2 times and fine tune it, but that's just some of the ways that you can use AI for marketing. You can use AI, specifically something like ChatGPT, or there are other types of programs that you can specifically use to where you can actually provide data from your inventory management system, and you can ask ChatGPT, Bard, any of these programs to take this, using this data, project the most popular color or style or type of rollerblade for the past 6 months and show a projection of sales for the next month. Whereas that would have taken you hours or a day or two to break down that information yourself and check and double check. You can use prompts and prompt engineering to have the AI break that down for you. Now, as always, this is a software program. So one thing that Mr. Brossman and you always hear us say is it is always worth checking behind it.
Yes.
You
like
will,
humans, it can
just
lie.
like humans.
Or
It can lie.
extrapolate.
It can make mistakes. I always say it's a great tool, but it is a tool. And take that data projection for the next month, and you can use that as a resource on your purchasing for the next month. Now, you may know that a certain style of 80s style retro blaze orange roller skates are coming back into style. However, you may not have realized that lemon yellow has also been flying off the shelves. And this prompt allows it to show that they're neck and neck. You know now how to frame your marketing for the next month because you know the trend that is coming from the data. And you notice you haven't moved it for a while. Using the trends in that data across a certain time frame can confirm for you that this is an item that I need to reduce, discount to get it out because its time has gone by. And so what I'm talking about here is you may be skilled at using your data, but this tool is just another layer assisting you. But I think so many people are focused on the big news with AI and the intimidation of it, that the good thing is so many of the tools that we've used that are software, even down to Microsoft Word and Google, so many of the tools that we use every day are becoming increasingly integrated with AI. It's coming a time to where small businesses and people in general, every tool that you use that is digitally based is going to have an AI component, or it's going to be completely run off of AI alone. So one of my favorite quotes when I'm asked, especially in my educational role with industry training, is, okay, so in the next 10 years, is AI going to take all of our jobs? AI will not replace you. Someone proficient with AI will replace you. The more comfortable you can get with using AI, the more familiar you can become with the concepts, such as YouTube has a great wealth of information on what these tools do. The more comfortable you can become with what AI is and how you can use it in your daily workflow, daily life. So every aspect of daily life is going to be impacted by AI. It is being impacted by AI. And I keep saying that because for the small business owner, this is prime time to integrate these tools into your workflow. There are some things you need to be mindful of. One, we talked about security. The simplest way is if you have to stop and think about it, you may need to become more comfortable with it. For example, I may not want to feed ChatGPT my social security number, things like that. I may not want to put my balance sheet into ChatGPT, not because it's going to feed it out there. Every company, Facebook, Instagram, has security leaks from time to time. That is the nature of working in cyberspace. However, again, the best way to counter any type of security concern you have is with knowledge. And for the most part, you can even ask AI to teach you about how to safeguard against AI. We're still at a stage right now. I don't think we're going to get to a point where AI itself is going to become self-aware and try to steal your retirement. But the good thing about AI now is it's still at a point to where if you have a question, it is one of the best resources to use. That is why you have the beta version of Bing, you have the beta version of Google, all of your search engines, Firefox, they are all integrating AI into their search platform. Thankfully, right now, we are still in a space to where this is under jurisdiction. It's not a free agent out there running around like in the sci-fi movies. It is still under locks. There is an ethics standard. There are things out there that are maintaining this.
In a lot of the brick and mortars I work with, they're so underwater. Simple things of how to respond to a question, how to get a prompt, how to get a press release started, little things like that, that when you have lots of time seem to be fine. In this area, they're short on time, and it's excellent with that. So if you can give it enough data and say, now do this, operate on it, it can do a good job. Now, ChatGPT, as we know, is kind of locked in the past. So it's more like conceptual ideas versus Google Bard, which is more present. And they are literally improving this stuff daily. Why? Because they know their future's at stake. So this is changing daily. So what you might try it one day, and then the next would be different. in advertising and marketing is make sure when you look up your own business, all the data is correct. We did something, I made a video on it with Denise for Skyview, and the prices were wrong. We said a thumbs down, corrected it, and within a day, it was corrected. We just checked it today, and it is. So the first piece in marketing is make sure if your organic content is being brought into these systems accurately. Now, I know that's not answering all your questions, but this is one of the first is, am I putting, and also noticing where are you putting your content? So if you bring up, and we'll show the Google new version, if you bring it up and shows it, you can see where it's pulling from, go, oh my gosh, I have not updated TripAdvisor. There's wrong data in there. I might want to go in and update that data. Hold up. The support person who goes into a brick and mortar business and can point them in directions for added value is going to be called back faster than just the guy who goes in and fix something. So I've got that's a great one. It's a tech support person. You work on brick and mortar business, right? They have a point of sale system down, or their PC that runs the office is down.
Small businesses, especially those that are overwhelmed and they're keeping the doors open, keeping up as best they can to try to get to some free time. You're going to be invaluable because they're going to see this. They're going to want to learn more about it, but they're going to be scared to death of it because they don't understand it. They may barely understand the antivirus on their computer. And at best, that's why they're calling you once a week, because they think that if a lightning storm comes and it glitches, that they have a virus, and it sounds like I'm being facetious, but there are a lot, even younger owners that are like that, who know a craft, they have a skill, but they're not comfortable on the technology side. Where you bring value in addition to what you're doing now, having a better understanding of AI tools, how they work, and how to see the vulnerability. You're going to bring reassurance, not just a service. Because when they talk to you and they say, you mention it to them, and they say, yeah, I'm just not comfortable. You can say, look, I have this service to where I provide this, and I'm going to update, I'm going to provide you some training on it or provide you some resources on it, but you explain it, what you do in relation to AI, and you bring them comfort, they're going to move into it a lot more readily. And then they're going to be leaning on you and your services for what they're paying you for, but then is that added value.
The biggest thing is it gives right now, the playing field is re-leveled. When social media began, the playing field was level. And then over time, it became a pay-to-play platform. We're at the leveling point again. So it's more important than ever, the small brick and mortar and business take advantage of this while they can learn it and use it before it gets to the bigger companies completely controlling it and them losing the advantage on it. So it's more like multiplying your efforts. And we're getting businesses where they're going, I was hiring someone to write my press release. Now I can get ChatGPT to get it good enough that I can do it on my own. So it's really multiplying their efforts. I see it as the fourth revolution, industrial revolution.
What you're going to find is as we move further along in this, AI, and it may be 10 years, it may be 15 years. The magic number I keep hearing is 2037, is we're going to get so reliant on AI, and it's going to become such a part of our life that people are going to yearn for the human element. They're going to yearn to be able to face-to-face with somebody, that it's almost going to be retro to go to a bookstore and buy a book and talk to somebody behind the counter. Now, they may be able to download that book, have AI read it to them, and then have the computer explain the whole book to them at home. Yes, that would probably be a reality, but it's going to be kind of lonely, and it's going to kind of lose its flair. So people are going to want that human element. And I think the brick and mortar or the service in general that is able to leverage both the AI and virtual element and provide a captivating and interesting face-to-face physical interaction and experience are going to be the most successful.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, thanks so much. Thanks, Dr. Justin Rose. And I'll put my, if you need to reach me, I'm going to put in the chat directly. And then Justin, go ahead and put your contact data as well. Justin and I work together on things, but this was a blast having this available, and great questions you all asked too. Really enjoyed it. So make sure, and then if you want to save the chat, there should be 3 little dots at the bottom, and then you can click save chat, and it will, you can find it, save the chat. So you'll get that, and it will save the text for you. This was great. Really enjoyed having you all. Loved the questions people asked, and look forward to continuing the conversation in the Brick and Mortar group on Facebook. I mean, on Alignable.